Harare 89.7. So we shall talk more about those tours, say. But congratulations, by the way, on being a father.
Yes, thank you. Kumana, mungatani muromero. Koma korokota charo.
No, ndichapagadzirisa.
Na kumana.
Ndichakunaisa, ndichapagadzirisa. Just remind me.
Maango amazwano. But yeah, thank you very much. It's such a blessing. There are no words to describe the feeling.
Yes.
A lot of people ask me, how does it feel being a father?
Yes.
I don't have any words.
Yeah,
it's really a good thing.
Actually, that's my question. Please share with us, Nijo. The joys that comes with being a father.
Right. You always have something to look forward to. No matter what the day madira famba say Maria there's just that innocent little person at home.
Yes.
I think one of the most interesting things about having a child is, up to this point, before you have a child, everyone that you meet in life has got a history. Yeah. When I meet you,
exactly. Exactly.
But when you are looking at it, they have no history. Like
yes.
Life, whatever memory they are going to have is what you are building for them, which is also one of the things that I try to do. From that moment onwards, I made a decision. I said, I want to create a happy environment in my home. I want to be a good, even though but I just want to start practicing it now because I know whatever I'm doing now becomes a part of their life. So it's a great feeling.
You're actually doing a great thing because there are a lot of fathers, just by Zita, they're not even there for the kids. I want to
say what a blessing it is, because when you realize how many people on earth are praying and crying every day for that gift, I would really appreciate that blessing. So sometimes when you don't have a full understanding of how blessed you are to actually have a child, that's when you can be an absent father, I think. So I'm really just doing my best.
That's great. And how far true is that once you have a child, your life changes completely?
It changes in a major way. It changes in a major way. I think your priorities change. Before, when it was just the two of us, myself and my wife, there are a lot of compromises you could make. Ndagona kumboswera pangu mangu madhira asinganyatsobhadhare because pakati pangu nemudzimai handiti tinogona kuirana kuti amwe dzino zvanhu zvakaoma ngati ngodye zviripo kana kuti magetsi apera. But when there's somebody who is helpless, who cannot do anything to take care of themselves and their your responsibility, unongochona ndingatswerere tumadhiri tusina musoro because mapampa ari kudiwa and anenge achitongodiwa apana. So it's just one of those ways. So it does alter your life in a huge way.
So from the last time I hosted you on the show, a lot has changed, and you've also grown in terms of your craft. And we love it. Zamukuru, like I said, I'm a big fan.
Thank you so much.
So you've always been a performer from young age, imitating what you have watched on the big screen.
On TV.
But that time, were you aware of what was happening?
As when I was growing up?
Yes.
No, because as a child you are very naive. You just take things as they come. Kuti uzotsanangura no, this is a gift. You can actually become this in life. Discover which unfortunately some people actually never get to discover. Sometimes unaona munhu kana parengi uchinza munhu matauro ari kuita unagona kutoparidza but hapana anenge akamuudza kuti ndo chipo chacho kwachiri kurerekera. So I wasn't aware of this is a gift. Ndaingofunga kuti no, that's what everybody does. Kuti ukangoona chinhu chikunakidza, you just imitate. To me it was just a way of enjoying life. It was only later ndazoti kurepa ma-actors. Okay.
Yes.
And I always told myself, I think one day I would like to be an actor.
Yes.
It was just a thought yanga ingori mandi.
And have you ever imagined that someday, one day, you would be this creative and a performer that you have become today?
Well, like I always say, I can't say I imagined the details as they are. If somebody were to tell me that in so many years' time you'd be a comedian in Zimbabwe, you'd be working with these brands, you'd be doing this and that, the details, I didn't have the clear picture, but I did have a vision to just become someone great in life, someone who would have a positive impact on people's lives. Izvozvo ndakabvira kare kare, even when things were very difficult. As you would probably know, I grew up without both my parents. I lost my parents at a very young age. But despite that, of course, I had a lot of support from family and stuff. But despite kuomera kwese kana kumbonetseka neupenyu kunomboitikawo mulife, ndakangokura ndine kugutsikana kwekuti one day I am going to be a blessing to someone.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going to be a blessing to some people. Some people are going to say, thank God for this boy.
Yes.
So my details ndo andogona kunge ndakakura ndisina hangu yekuti ndichange kangangoripo kekuti ndisingori munhu nje izvozvo ndandingori exactly. God has placed something in me. Yeah.
Very true. And you are so natural. Whenever you deliver something, it comes out effortlessly, like I said. And to me, I would say it is an inborn thing. You know, inborn talent that you have, Nigel. I have watched interview of actors who say they have an inborn talent. However, had I mean, to them wanting to chikoro to know nature the talent that you zvibude, but zvakasiyana nezvaunoita.
All right.
Tete wewe here wakaenda kuchikoro for this.
No. I studied something completely different. I've got a degree in engineering. That's what I did. I did electronic engineering.
Yes.
But this was just a passion.
Last time you told me that I wasn't a degree. I wasn't a degree.
No, and sad.
So nijwakata degree, guys. Nijwakata degree rake started Torah. So why was you not Torah degree rake?
So that the school just keeps it safe for me.
Nigel, okay.
No, because the thing is, and sandamboana parukudiwa like paper paracho.
Yes.
Yeah, but recently pane some application and ndaida kuitere. So yaida that paper. Saka ndada utombodzifambira nyaya dzacho.
Exactly.
But ndazongeta busy but ririko.
But wonaka Nijo, since you wakaita zvinzviri completely different from what you are doing right now, so wakastarta, any regrets kuti maybe dance now when I'm college kwacho for this or what?
No, not even. Because of two things. Number one, I don't believe in looking back at the future and looking back at the past and trying to change one detail. Because the moment you change one detail about your past, there's a possibility that you have altered everything else. Zvakaita sekuti imimi mukati ndakakura ndine vabereki vangu vese.
Yeah.
But you are saying that, but if you had grown with both your parents, you would have grown up in different circumstances.
Yeah, exactly.
And your path would not have led you here. You get it?
Sure.
Yes, maybe you could have been greater or you could have been dead.
Yeah, very true.
You never know.
Very true.
So regret is pointless. Looking back at the past and saying, I should have never dated this guy, it's pointless.
Yeah.
For as long as you are alive and for as long as you are happy where you are today, then don't regret anything that happened.
Yeah.
Maybe kana pa nzvimbo inenge inotinetsei unogona kuti but it's not a mistake here. But regret is pointless. Number two, why I don't regret, I studied electronic engineering, and for those who have done an engineering degree or any course in engineering, people make the mistake of thinking that when you go and get the degree, it's so that you just get a job.
Yeah.
Of course, that might be the ultimate thing. But the number one point of education is training you to think. And specifically with engineering, it's training you to solve problems.
Okay.
So I believe that I do that every day.
Every day.
And don't believe what
electronic.
Exactly.
Exactly.
You get it. But every day I solve problems. Every day I have to think. I have to innovate. Every day I have to be creative. Every day I have to come up with a solution. That's what engineers do.
Yeah.
So saka arikutoshanda zvakatonaka. Exactly.
Great. Yeah. And Nijo, what's your take on parents who choose career path for their children?
In a nutshell, it's wrong. Because at the end of the day, as a parent, you had the opportunity to live your life. You had the opportunity to make your decisions. You even had the opportunity to make your own mistakes.
Yes.
Right? So every other human being has that right. What you can do is guide. What you can do is maybe influence. What you can do is advise. But at the end of the day, this is their life. So whatever choice they make, whatever decision they make, they are going to have to live with the consequences. I know major concern, but to all the young people listening, who might say, hey, good, it's not like the parents hate you.
Yeah.
It's usually it's coming from a good place. Because I don't guys do, hey, you know, unozorarama sei
Drama.
then they start giving you a list of one wakafa wasinacho ainacho ningi aitomboti sekesa ningi taona madrama ake paTV asizere kuti hana chakafa ainacho dai waita doctor. It's coming from a good place.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you know, you're not God. You don't know someone's destiny. You don't know what God has placed in the hands of your child.
Yeah.
Even though you are the parent. As a parent, you know what I know is I'm just a steward. Mwana ndi wangu panyika pana, but munhu akasikwa na Mwari, and God has a plan for their life. So I have to respect and to honor that. My duty is to create an environment that is most conducive for them to express what God placed in them. So it's not I don't think it's proper to pick a career for
your child.
They can become successful monetarily. Kuti kudrive mota ari kushanda ane NGO ari kushandira ndindakamudza kuti ita zvakati but inwardly asiri kufara munhu every day
achindongota ndifadze ndara
day ramunongonzi mafa imimi monza akutanga ita zvimwe zvake, which means you are actually stopping them from living their life. So I don't subscribe to that.
And it was in 2017 when you revealed your talent to the world through comedy clips.
Right.
You once mentioned that you have been that person who struggles with stage fright. How is that played out for you now?
Right. No, so far, because, you know, the more you do something, the more confident you become. I can imagine your first day on air, Baba.
First day. Don't remind me of that day.
First day.
25 June 2012, it was something else.
Imagine. Pamune maudzi right sakapa ndo paunojanya kana wada kuti music iwe ichi ndo chenews. Kuchongo uchafona kuti mati chenews chiri pa. Right, listeners, we are going to be back, you know. But the more you kept coming back,
yes,
you started relaxing. You know, it's just like driving.
Exactly.
Could first day waka driver phone ikarira chero iri kubhuti kari ndakwa kundifaka kumana unondikanganisa but ezvinezvo wakuto driver nerwani rwoko chimoresa vanhu uchidya because you get more comfortable the more you do something and the more you practice it. So the more we've just been executing and doing it, the more, you know, at home you feel doing it.
Great. And you've been doing tours of stand-up comedy from here to South Africa to the UK. Did they live in any other country?
No, UK, SA, India. No,
exactly. And I know stand-up comedy is different from a pre-recorded skit because you can do several takes, you know. But what does it take to be a stand-up comedian?
Magats.
The guts.
Magatsa ndo capital yekutanga magats kungodza kutozviudza kuti ndikamira apa ndikatanga kutaura vanhu vachaseka. You know, stand up comedy yakasiyana nechiko yakasiyana nemotivational speaking.
Right.
Because motivational speaking, it's also something that I do. Ndechekuti unoona kuti asina musoro ka but vanhu vanogona kuti good powerful. But stand-up comedy, there is a reaction that is expected in that moment. Saka people are supposed to laugh. So if you do that and then people don't laugh, so it's not magats,
right.
And obviously preparation yakanyanya, research yakanyanya, a lot of practice as well. Because the difference is it's not only panyaya kuti apana kunzi cut, stop, take, chichita kutangidza. It's also the issue that you have to connect with an audience in real time.
Yes,
you get it?
Yes,
you have to connect with an audience in real time. So you have to understand your audience. Like when we are here, there are some jokes that I do here easily.
Yes.
Right? And Toto Maro, Auto Floor. When I go there, handicha because munhu ari kugara uko ane 17 years ari ku-UK patonika disconnect kaanako
yeah.
so pandichangotaura kuti saka pamushikashika pazasi apa
achatozvinzwisisa
kada kumbotirai kufunga kuti pamushikashika iyo pawakabva kunoko pamwe kwangu sati kwatombone zvinhu zvese izvo. So understanding your audience is very important.
Very, very
Doing
important.
your research is very important. You're more comfortable when you have a lot of information on your tips.
Yeah.
So yeah. So it's zvakasiyana, but it's also a very fulfilling thing.
Have you ever done a stand-up comedy, you know, show that you felt like panapaka vana vanayatsonakirwa pana bhozi or not supposed to say to laugh?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, not exactly like that, but there are some performances that you just feel like I didn't really give my best. I can give you one example. It was in 2020. We did one in Bulawayo.
Right.
So what I usually do in my set, most of my jokes, like 90%, are in English. So ndinenchizvitira kuti even when I travel, handichazvinetsi nekuda kutanga kunyora mamwe futi because kwane vamwe vauya neshamwari dzavo dzekunigeria yo kuda kutanga kutaura nyambo dzekuti zvino murume akazi. So most of my content most of my content is in English.
Yeah.
But what I usually do is ka 10% kangoti pane mamwe ma-statements anongopedza kana neshona handitika just to really vibe with the crowd. So when I went to blues, I wasn't very sure because andigona kutaura like fluently. I can just communicate basic. But performer. So I wasn't really sure kuti paipa ndinomborwa neshona. Is it okay kuti ndibva ndadaro because you're also trying to be respectful to I just feel like it's somewhat disrespectful to be with an audience where their vernacular language, their first language is Ndebele, and then you're speaking to them even some of them though no, we don't mind, it's okay, but so yeah, I was thinking too much. When you perform, you don't want to think too much. Kuti ndizvo zvandukita ndotaura joke so that one I remember it very well. For me, it was one of my worst. But obviously, even let's say you were at 30 minutes, say 30 minutes. Patoita ma moments awatomboseka. So you want to go it's funny, it's fire. But
so do you script your stand-up comedy?
Definitely,
shows.
My skits tinongoroa, tinongoflowa.
But
tinetangowirana. Yes, because with stand-up comedy, your set has to be very clear, which is what ndikafamba nenyaya. Of course, kune zvimwe zvinoyo natural ipapo. So ngoti awangogara pangongona ola akagara pa front road. Ola ani makuho, because zvangoiro imomo. But unotouya uine for me and I know a lot of comedians, but kuna vamwe vanongoti zvawangouya zvongota, but izvi unongotori neset rako ruziva kuti ndichafamba so maybe ndichaita 10 minutes ndichitaura about my experience in the UK, ndapedza ndotaura pandikazoya kusouth zvakasiyana uzvi neizvi, ozotaura nyaya kuti ndasuwa mukadzi wangu nemwana and get into that. So definitely it's well prepared.
So how is the support in the country and outside, the turnout and all?
Right, so the support is very good, but the thing with stand-up comedy is with everything in arts, a culture has to be built. I'll give you an example, say Zim Danso. Zim Danso, there is a strong culture, Eriko, apart from the music. Vanoita zvimabashi, vanoita zvimaklashi, nechi. So the culture inenge iri maari munhu zvekuti even tisingataura nyaya music anozvinzwa ndiri munhu weZim Danso.
Yes.
So with stand-up comedy, it's something that it's slowly now gradually being accepted and being understood.
Yes.
Because I remember one of the shows that we had, so the MC was just asking people before the show started. I said, so what are you expecting today? And there's a certain lady who said, today ndaunyatsona pasina paunomboti cut. Because she actually thought, she came to our show, she paid for a ticket. But what she thought was going to happen, vaifunga kuti tikuya kuzoacta. She didn't even know kuti munhu anenge angomira achitaura majokes. Sometimes I actually see the comments on my posts. Kuti vanotobvunza kuti mukomani japa muri kuya kuzoitei chaizvo unongochita nezvei mumwe akatokomenda akati ungabhadhire 200 rand ungonodzwa nyaya. So the culture isati yanyatsoimpresswa. But I want to give a big shout out to one of the main drivers in terms of stand-up comedy. A friend of mine, Ananzi King Kandor.
Yeah.
He has been pushing. And I think his market and his audience really understand him. I mean, one time I got a show at Reps Theatre. That's like 300 people. Filled it.
Wow.
7 arts. That's like 700 people. He filled it.
Yeah.
We did another one. I was just the host there. Celebration. Like almost close to 2,000 people came through. So those are huge numbers. So I'm seeing that response. It's when you go to some cities, it's big. Like when I went to SA, Cape Town was huge. The turnout was actually sold out. The Vineyard Tanta book.
Yeah.
Yanga yakato zarisa.
Okay.
Yeah. Randburg was also good. Kempton Park, it was a little low. But you are patient in all of these things because you understand what you're trying to build. You understand good. Hakuna chinhu chinotongotanga chakaputika. Rome was not built in a day. So in it, I'm grateful. I'm always grateful for the support. I'm not one of those people. I'm not, Zimbabweans. I've seen awesome support from day one. So, and guys, 10 likes. But you are saying, but 10 vanhu so I'm always grateful. So the people are being supportive and
great. And there's a phrase, that says comedians are the most depressed human beings. Do you agree with it?
I agree with the logic. I agree with where that person is coming from. Because where they are coming from is they're coming from a standpoint because you make people laugh a lot, people assume that you're always happy. And when people assume that you're always happy, you have this superpower garage fara. It becomes very difficult for you to open up to them and the moment you fail to open up because everybody expects you to be happy, it's always going home. So this other car per side because I'm congestion. So these two ladies are like, hey, what's yes. And it's the end of the day. Ndamuka kuma 6 I've been working all day. And now vara window kana ndakuregedza vamwese ndati zviri sei handiti. And I also kunyepera kudzika makaniwe chiko handiti. Because she was expecting to the moment exactly. But like I'm human. Ipapo ndikutofunga zvandikufunga kuti kojese ndichapera nguva yakwe. Mukadzi wangu ambonditekisira kuti magetsi apera. Ndikutoprocessa zvinhu zvandikuprocessa. But this lady is expecting me to be superhuman. So that can be depressing. That can be. So I would agree with anyone who's on the forefront, especially playing a role of making other people happy.
Yes.
There's a very high likelihood they might be the unhappiest people.
Very true.
Yeah.
And in Zimbabwe, we have stand-up comedians, the likes of Kao Joshua Ncube. You mentioned King Kandoro, amongst others. Abroad, Trevor Noah. He's my favorite from.
Right.
Yeah. So where do you draw your inspiration from?
Right. I draw my inspiration from a lot of people in different ways. Inspiration yangu what they had to overcome to get where they got.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not even about what they do. But when I just hear their stories, that's why inspiration yangu is very broad. Inspiration yangu even from sports people, people like Muhammad Ali, people like Cristiano Ronaldo. And just a young boy from Madeira, now he's being paid hundreds of millions per week, but anyway, in the fraternity of comedy, Steve Harvey is one of those guys. Kevin Hart is also one of those guys. Maybe it's because both of us are short. He's representing the short guys.
Exactly.
Because also he's a hard worker. Kevin Hart can have a book coming out in the same year. He has a movie and he has a tour.
Yeah.
And in it, two more skits, but he also not. So he's one of Dave Chappelle, Trevor Noah. And so there's a lot.
So what do you prefer, stand-up comedy or the usual skits? And these days everyone is now doing skits as long as they do have a camera. Most of the guys now kungobata camera so iPhone akutora skit.
Matarama zvakaipa.
No, it's not bad. But what do you prefer? Stand-up comedy or the the
Now, if you asked me this
Usual skits.
question maybe 6 months ago, I would say skits because I just enjoy. But from the recent tours I've made, I'm falling in love with just performing to a live audience,
Yeah.
meeting those people. So I'm leaning more to stand-up comedy because also I think the feeling some people come to me after a show and then they're like,
Exactly.
I'm glad tazonana live. So that experience to me is becoming so fulfilling. Saka handa kuwandira stand-up comedy.
So are you saying wakuda you move from skits?
No, I love Yandina futhi nema skits iri very strong,
Right.
because skits help me to just express an idea almost instantly.
Yes.
Ndandichitodza the guys I work with nasi nchiti guys paneka idea kandaita nasi nchidriver ndichoya kunoko tikangopedza zvatikita mangwana toda kuti tikashute, right? And mangwana tikakashuta panozokwana time dzinedzi mune makutokaseka makutoti nijoko unopengerewo ndaona chichi.
Exactly.
So I never want to lose that. I'm just hoping no matter how big I grow, because I also feel like that's my most immediate platform of connecting with the audience. A lot of people andosangana vanonditi pamninijo. It's because from that series.
Maskit,
you see now. So I feel like ndopandine connections. I wouldn't want to lose that. So I can't say I'm moving away. I'm just diversifying.
It's growth.
Exactly.
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 Nigel, I'd like to believe that stand-up comedy is for the learned. They are nagati mafundi here and there. So because it's zvachoka unotoshadwa nakuseke pajoko.
This guy. But
but no one's ruzi. I don't go and jump on a joke. What's your take on this one?
No, it's untrue. It's not true. Because what I'll need you to do is mukazenda pa YouTube, right? Munono search some stand-up comedy inoitwa let's say kunana South Africa yavanoita in vernacular, yavanongoita in their vernacular language. It's just basic jokes. Varongoita basic jokes kunge zvaingoitwa nana kapfupi vachita street theater.
Exactly.
But zvatisiyane because hakusi kuacta chete. But I mean, even at family functions, there's that one uncle kuti akatanga kutaura nyaya so ndoitorini ngrini yacho, because the idea ndeyongoti munhu akanyarara, imi makanyarara, munhu achitaura nemi. That's it. It's just that the most popular form of stand-up comedy inenge ichitwa yakabva from the west. So iri kuitwa nevanhu vari kutaura nechirungu, iri kuitwa nevanhu vari kutaura zvinhu zvinenge zviri sophisticated. But ini ndinobelieve kuti even at the lowest level, for as long as you can connect, ukanzwisa kuti alright apa ndiri pamafesi ari kutengesa zvinhu zvavo panapa, ndobva ndava ndototanga kutaura nyota munoziva kuti rimwe zuva zvakazodai votobva kuseka. That's the art. So zvekuda vanhu vangori netsika kuda kuvharira vanhu panze kuti zvinhu zvavanhu vakadzidza waka ndezvitese.
Okay, back to the skits, online skits. You play the roles of vasembwe bamninijo, nijo, babaropa, mufundisi wanodya, vari pamwe navarangu vachishanda, zvese izvozvozvo. So amongst the characters you play, which one portrays the real you, the real Nigel?
Apana, but ndinofunga kuti all of the characters have an element from my character. Zvokuti ese mukazotora ine ndo zvinozoumba inini chaiyo. But maybe what hapana, because zvinonetsa nizoti izvezvi ndikati pamninicho mukadzokera mukatanga kunomaona mamati saka unobaka iwe.
Very true.
So handifunga kuti pane inonyatsodepicta who I am as a person.
And I love to, the fact that you expose zvinhu zviri kuitika in our day-to-day lives through those characters, So let's talk about the mufundisi character. Munoti kudi nana papa and nana mamas, who do not practice what they preach.
Itomborinya kuti ndinoti kudi. Itorinya kuti Bible chairo rinoti kudi nevanhu vakadaro. Mwari afari nazvo. We should just be what we, chinonzi integrity is just you being one with your word. Kuti kana wati ndinoita zvakadai, kana kuti Bible rinoti ngatiite zvakadai, so iwo ngoita izvozvo. So but anyways, in you know, my inspiration, let's say pamaskits and amfundis, it's not like in the nation zvandinoona muchechi angu because vamwe vanogona kuzofunga kuti good uri kuratidza zvikuitika mumachechi.
Exactly.
Maybe zviri kuitika, but that's not why I'm doing it. Ininiwo I just let my imagination run wild. Ndingori munhu wekuti ndakagara ndingofunga kuti but kumfundisi vakauya vakasungwa nemapurisa ari pakati pekuparidza
chichinoitika.
You get it? Then I just do that. But zvinogona kunge zvine kwazvakatoitikawo.
Exactly, zvakadaro izvo.
So yeah, but I believe we must just practice what we preach.
And you are a man of man of many talents, Nigel, and that doesn't happen here. You know, right. It can be the grace of God. It can only be the grace of God.
Amen.
Yeah, most of your posts express the way you love God, and you do it loud, and you are not even ashamed about it.
That's true.
So what would you like to say to people who have not accepted Jesus as their Lord and Savior?
That this is again Bukrere Moko. Ndaitwa mainterview akawanda guys. Hapana munhu atambonyatsondipa mukana wekuti unotini vanhu vasatogauchira Jesu. Aiwa. Yeah, you guys are waking overtime. Aiwa mawadesa munopiwa aya munadize.
Thank you.
All right, maybe just to answer where that comes from. I think the way I was raised, I like I said, I lost my parents. I lost my mom in Form 1. And so all of my childhood, and after that, I was in the care of my grandparents, and also my grandmother is a very, very prayerful woman. Well, I just come from a household of faith. Saka jekunzi Mwari ndiye minduro. Yes, zvese zvatinoda muupenyu. Jesu ndiye anotakura mutoro yedu. Ndo zvandakangokura ndichitongotenda.
Yes.
Zvekuti chinhu chese ndechingoti tinofanira kuti tinamati nezvacho. Tinogona kushanda, tinogona kuenda kuchikoro, tinogona kuplana, tinogona strategize, but ngatinamate. So because I feel like that has personally helped me a lot, that's why I use my platform to always talk about Jesus. That's why I always try to use my platform to say, look, whatever you may be going through in life, Jesu anoti uyai kwandiri mese makaneta makaremerwa ini ndichaita sei ndichakuzorodzai ndinokupai rugare. We are living in a generation and in a time where people are seeking a lot of answers, and we are also living in a time where a lot of people have lost faith in God through the church. What they initially lost faith in is the church. A lot of things are happening, and ndinogona kutoti alright, ndandakuda kuita zvepa on the spot chaizvo zvinozomuka zvakutrenda mangwana baba vangu. Anyway, but because a lot of things are happening in the church, church wayazoenda baba wazondidai, mai vakandidai, so mai mfundisi vakandidai. So mukuramwa church vakabva varamwa zvisine kuti saka kana Mwari wacho hako. But inkurudziro yangu inenge iri yekungoti they can be bad people in a good church. They can be bad people, but God is a good God. So the Bible says, look unto Jesus. Looking unto Jesus. Let's look away from men. People have their faults, so trust in Jesus. If you've not given your life to Jesus, I would like you to consider doing that, because God can change your life in an amazing way. God wants to bless you more than you want to be blessed. God wants you. One of the things that has helped me by being a father is appreciating my relationship with God. One day ndaizvifunga nchiti kamunaka ndinokada zvisingaite.
Exactly.
But hapana kana one chat ambondiitira mwana eye. But I just have love for him. Agone kana kutaura. Dzimwe nguva anotimutsa pakati peusiku achichema. But ndinongomuda. So ndozofunga kuti what more Mwari kana akanditarisa inini. Chero zvikanzi ndinombokanganisa, chero zvikanzi chero mwana wangu zvikanzi aita zvakaita sendichangoramba ndichimuda. What more Mwari? Ane love limitless. Yes. So whatever answer you are seeking, I'm sure you can find it in God.
That's very, very, very powerful and so profound. That's Bamni Nijo on the spot. Do you wish to be a pastor, a real pastor?
I'm not a real ndiyakaita sei.
Okay, just maybe standing in front of the congregation muchiparidza.
Izvo ndinotozviita kaizvo. Inini mungatoenda kuchechi kwangu ungatovunza mufundisi wangu kuti mukomana anomboparidza ndinotopa, and I've always done that all my life. But anyway, I don't feel like it's necessarily the responsibility of a pastor. I feel like it's the responsibility of a believer. I don't want to turn this into kuti ndakuita kunge ndakudhipisa, but
exactly.
Bible rinongotaura kuti go ye therefore gospel into the world, everyone. So I feel like it's our responsibility, all of us as a Christian. If you have received something good, it's your responsibility to share it with the next person.
Yeah.
So definitely, I organize a lot of events that have to do with inspiring people, encouraging people, telling people to pray. So I believe I'm actually playing my role in that way.
And talking about organizing events, you have something coming up this week, Crossroads, and
Oh, yes.
Inspired Class as well.
Right.
Tell us more about that.
Right. So there's a popular web series that we started last year around November. It's
Right.
Crossroads.
Crossroads, yeah.
We did season 1, we did season 2. We're currently running season 3. So iri kupera. Yobva yapera tobva tapendera takaona tikaramba chienderera nayo pamwe nyaya dzacho dzinenge dzakuzongotenderera. So the final episode is actually happening on Thursday. Saka tikuita as a live experience. It's going to be at the cinema. Saka the interesting thing is takati hatina kuisa ticket price.
Yeah.
It's not $5 or 10. Tangoti munhu chingoti paya winayo.
Okay.
Chingoti paya winayo. Zvoti mungangoya muine $1.
Munopinda.
But imi ndozoti imamu yene $1.
Alright.
Imi ndozviziva kuti mukomala anenge achinzwisa kuti nicho apa wakashanda.
Abva kure mukomana.
Arigeti mbompa
Ndise kana bhuru.
So the idea was we just wanted to give everyone an opportunity to partake and also give everyone an opportunity to thank us. Kungoti guys makamboshanda, you were using your resources to entertain us. So that's the thing. It's happening on Thursday. If people just go on my page, it's happening by SK Cinema. I would definitely come and support you, my brother. I love
I'll be there definitely because I've seen you grow in that space.
Thank you so much, my brother.
So I know I always support you.
Yeah. So the other one you mentioned, the Inspired Class. Yeah. That's also an event I organize from time to time. The whole idea is to inspire young people, to give them hope, and also give them direction. So this event, it covers on financial literacy. Kumbonyatsodhila nemari nekuti vanhu vakawanda vanonyura panyaya dzemari. Inini personally in my life, we can talk about this another time. There was a time I struggled with debt. Zviri serious.
Wow.
Izviya zvekuti kana foni ikarira haudaire bhozi rungoziva kuti iri kupisa munhu arikuda mari dzake. So I don't want people to go through that. So it's not really session iyoyo haisi kutaura about how to become a millionaire. Just managing basic finances, financial literacy inoleka vanhu vakawanda, a lot of black people. We also deal with nyaya mental health, depression, anxiety, suicides. We also deal with purpose discovery. How do you discover your purpose? How do you walk in it? How do you train yourself to then benefit? Things like that. That's what the Inspired Class is all about. So it's happening on the 18th of November at the Jameson Hotel from 9:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m.
Great.
So the details of getting the tickets, people can just go on my page. They'll find them there. Because I go to famba fast. Before the actual day. Yeah.
Okay, great. And I understand you were employed at a local radio station.
Oh yes.
Are you still there, by the way?
No, I left.
Why?
Pressure at you.
I heard some people were saying, "Where's Nijo?
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what happened? I was doing a morning show, breakfast show.
Breakfast show, yeah.
I have to be at the station by 6
o'clock.
From 6 to 9, which means I have to leave the house by 5.
Yeah.
If I leave the house by 5, it means I have to wake up at 4. Saka my day was now starting, and I still had to maintain my productions.
Yeah.
So ndandamboita chimachoment chekuti ndozvigona handiti ndichimuka na4 mashoots angu achizopera kana na8 p.m.
Right.
Uku kune kamuchechewo kari kuda kuti pana baba here pamba panapa. Saka, and also with the traveling a lot chandanchiita, and I think also next year it's going to be more intense. We're going to do more countries, more cities.
Yes.
So ndakarealize kuti half of every month I'm going to be out of the country, or I'm going to be in another city ndichiperforma. It's not going to make sense. Imagine next week standing in for Ola. Mangwana standing in for Ola. Now I'm big. So ndakangoti ndisiye ndisati ndazotodzingwa kutozonza achenda izvi kutozonza muri kuona chiita izvi madhirama enyu. So ndakangoti so I left.
Okay. No, but that's good, Nijo. So you know what, South African Springboks captain, Siya Collins akapota akiswa,
ndakaiona akazotonga uda kumurova kamukadziwa.
Exactly.
Ndakaiona.
So ever, I mean, wakambosanga encountered maybe such a crazy
kwete kuzokiswa vemuZimbabwe avakise zvavo havazokukise, but pane akambondisumudza mudzimai wangu aripo. ende musikana anga aine simba
Hey.
handaikwanisa kumumisa baba ndakatongoona ndava mumhepo
andakaine simba
ende amai vari apa paside pangu handizive kuti iye amai anovaziva here kana kuti aingofunga kuti mumwe munhu handizive kana kuti akati ndovaziva asi hazina basa akandisumudza akanditenderedza katatu baba handinyepi ina handiremi futi ka ina handiremi ndinogona kuremerawo zvangu mastreets but ina handiremi akandisumudza akanditenderedza katatu nemufaro nyaya iyoyo takanodzokera kumota hatina kumboitaura tanga tava ipapo taida kutsvaga minoshopu yemaprema here ndikasumudzwa kudai achindigadzika pasi mai vanga vatotifambei vakadza vanditane kutsamwa handizive kuti vanga vatsamwa here handina kana kuda kuzoti zvavaita wazviri ndakangoti hapana maprema naye maprema ari kunetsa kwani hande tinotasa kuna fest maprema hapana but handakasumudzwa baba ndakasumudzwa ndisingazive kuti dai ndandiri kufamba ndiri ndega aizogumira pakundisumudza handizive aindikisa asi zvino kana yozobuda nyaya yazotaurwa yabikwa yakunzi makomedian enyaya kuti ndichitsanangurira vanhu kuti aiwa ndini nanga nditori pamupato womvuri worufu hapana anozombondinzwa but zvakaitika ndakajegwa baba
but mudzimai akuzvinzwisisa here kuti kune zvinhu zvakadaro zvinonongoitika unexpectedly?
My wife has always been a very accommodating person, and I think nenyaya kuti takaitaka kuti kure tese in a sense. We're going to the same church, and church kokona ndiri chairman. So I think she has always been comfortable or used to the idea of me having people around me. Vanenge vachidoti chairman, you know, attention
to my baby.
So ini ndinozozamawo manje to not also give her any reason yekuti azonditi saka ipapo ndinenge watotaura kuti handiri kuStar FM kwaona unogona kutotuna ini unotondoona itenge itori live ndokwandee ndiri apa ndatobuda ndakutoti ndakudriver ndakuya vhiri rikaponja otaura raponja ototora picture ndiri pakati kuti munhu agutsikane kuti atasazofunga kuti ndofunga pane vanombomusumudza paye ndokwakuda kunorara so unotambo you just play your role also you just play your role also to ease her conscience. But she's been very supportive, she's been very welcoming.
Your parting remarks, my brother Nigel?
My parting remarks is firstly, you know, initially when I came I thought I was going to say, but I'll say it again. You know what, believe in Jesus. He can turn your life around. Jesus is coming soon. Give your life to him. And Zimbabwe and all of the people watching world over, thank you so much for your incredible support. I could not have been here without the support. I am because you are. My like, my share, my comments, my chichi, all of those things make a huge difference. And also even all to the corporates. I know tino mabosi corporates anenge akatirira vanoti sponsor vaya ingadai zvakapera kare dai pamba sina vanhu ivavo vanongoti nicho taona project yauri kuita Mari taona project yauri kuita, we want to support you. So I'm very grateful that you have placed so much faith in the talent and placed so much trust in the brand that I'm trying to build.
In 30 seconds, Nigel, chini changu chiti ichindekana mukana wekumbo uchitaura pamhepo, I would want to say this.
I would want to say that live your life to the full, and you can only find meaning in God, and make it an effort that you are a blessing to the people around you, to your family, to your community. Be a blessing to the world. Let people say, thank God, I am living in the same era as Ola. They should say, because Nyenge is alive, I'm so thankful to God. Let people, your life should be the answer to the cry of millions.
Thank you so much, Nigel. That was Nigel, the Slick Pastor. Let's go and support him.
Lovely.
And Trodzoka Zakari Mangwana on the spot with Freeman. You know, Agava launched the new album a week ago. So Atangari Panapa Mangwana on the spot, Freeman. Kwana Strombo Mira Panu Pachongo DJ the on the spot. My name is DJ Ola7 Owen Where Kwamadondo. You can follow me on Instagram at DJ Ola7 and also my Facebook page at DJ Ola7 Star FM. Don't forget to follow us on the big one at Star FM Zimbabwe. By the way, Nijo, before you go, how can people get in touch with you?
Right, you can just check on our Facebook, it's Nijo, Nijo. On Instagram, it's The Slick Pasta. On Twitter, well, it's now called X, it's The Slick Pasta as well. That's how you can get in touch.
Thank you so much. That was Nigel on the spot. It's now news time.